Welcome back to What's Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Bat Châtillon 15555. It's the Tier 9 French SPG and it's located on the south spawn of Redshire under the command of Dave333 of FILO. Now, I've played with Dave on a few occasions on live stream with Nicky Tack, and I know he's a good player, so I'm looking forward to this game to see how what he can do with this Arty. It's a 155mm caliber howitzer with 750 alpha and the chassis from an M47 tank. Now it's the single shot variety, and okay, his platoon mate, or not platoon mate, his teammate in the GWE100 is moving off to a firing position, and I think Dave is going to fire from here. Okay, aiming towards the enemy. And he's loaded. Now, if I recall correctly, its reload time is about 28 seconds or thereabouts. And he's looking for a target to shoot at. And he's found two. An Su-130 PM Tier 8 Soviet tank destroyer. Fires a round in, lands short. So RNG said no on that occasion, but he did pick up 201 hit points of damage and some stun assists. And he's waiting for the reload to go through. Oh, there's two there. In fact, actually, that's such a juicy target. I would normally go for the middle one, which is the Borsig, and then see if the shell hits either of the other two. Fires a round in straight away, and it hits something square on because there was no explosion. And I rather suspect it was the Su-130 PM that took the full brunt of that shell. The Borsig's missing some hit points, but I think it was the Su-130 that got the damage. And the losses so far have just been light tanks, but round out on the Borsig. And it zooms over the top of him and lands on the reverse slope of that hill. There's a T-49 there using those bushes and trees for cover, but unfortunately for him, he has been spotted. And that's half the problem, really. If you're in a tank and you get spotted, that's when Arty can start hitting you. So the answer is, don't get spotted. Round out on the E100, direct hit. Only 25 hit points though, unfortunately, because he's got very heavy armor and the shell hit him on a strong point right on his front. Didn't do a whole lot of damage. Now, if we can hit him on the side, that might be a different story. And that M48 pattern, well, yeah, he is going to suffer really badly if he takes this shell. Rounds out, and it did hit him. 205, cracked him. Now we've got a T-54 and an E100 going together. And there's the pattern again. So gluttons for punishment. They're all going to get hit at the same time. The E100's been tracked. The M48 pattern has been tracked. Round out. Now. Land short. All it does is stun them. Again, this is something that's going to be a problem with if Wargaming makes the changes to Arty that they're suggesting. Because something like that would stun them for very little time, if any time at all, under the new changes, and of course would make it very difficult for Arty players to actually earn any credits, and that might actually cause players to leave the game, because if they can't earn credits, what's the point of playing? This is something the Wargaming did have to address after they made the changes to the stun mechanic at 9.18. The problem is, you see, Wargaming doesn't want players to leave the game if they can help it, but players will leave the game if they perceive that they're not getting the credits that they need from their favourite vehicles. Okay, Dave's making his way over to the west side of the map where the GWE100's been firing at the enemy, and he's setting himself up in this nice little dip, which is one of the places I like as well. Because of course it gives you enough distance away from the east side and the east pass, so that if the enemy does break through, then you've got a buffer area that you can move into. Okay, that pattern is being spotted by our LT432. Lining up a shot. Round out. This looks good. It is. And he's picked up some stun assist straight away. And the pattern's dead. Now the E100 has turned around, and it looks to me like he's very cautious. Or has he turned around? Well, he's being very cautious. He's not coming down from the Zeppelin, whereas the T-54 has. But he's about to get a reminder of why you shouldn't do that. Yep, there you go. Right into his rear. 250 hit points. He's stunned. He did put some damage into the Hawk, but he's now got considerably less hit points. Okay, the Borsig's up on the heights. Now you notice Dave keeps flicking between Battle Assistant and standard overhead view, and the reason for that is Battle Assistant's one of the ways of actually you can see how the terrain lies. It's important to actually know what obstructions are actually in the way of your shell before it hits the target, and where you precisely need to aim in order to get the shell on target. You see here is a classic example. There's a ridgeline there, and that ridgeline's in the way of getting the shell onto the T-54. If you look at the overhead view, you wouldn't think there was an obstruction, but there is an obstruction, the ridgeline. Now you see he's got a red line appeared when he moved the aim point there, and that's part of the problem. Something the Battle Assistant seems to cure by telling you where the terrain is. Okay, whoa! Wiped out the girlfriend. And that was a very good shot, actually. I think he was very lucky that the girlfriend did stop when it did, because either that or when the calculations were run, they said yes, it was a direct hit, regardless of the fact of where the shell was actually headed. Yes, we do see the bending shells. Okay, Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger rounds out, fell behind it. I've seen curving shells in the past, I must admit, and I think I've often wondered, you know, did the calculation run and it said right at the start, yes, it's definitely going to hit the target, and then Wargaming bent the shell in the direction of the target to make it look like it did hit it. Oh, E100 just wiped out our Progetto, but we fire around him and it hits him directly on the rear for 334. Oh, no, that didn't work out so well for our standard B. He got taken out by the Su-130 PM. Well, we're down by one tank at the moment, but we do seem to be doing rather well. And the LT432 is spotting that T95, and he has no idea that there's an enemy tank behind him. He certainly knows there's Arty in front of him, because obviously he's being hit by it, and he just lost quite a bit of damage, lost quite a lot of hit points rather, and now he's being hit by the LT432, but so he now knows there is a tank nearby him, and he's been wiped out. Our Striv 103 got him. So the scores are now equal. There's two Artys on both sides, but the enemy team do have that E100. Here he is. Round out. Direct hit. He's stunned. And our Bat Chat just killed the T-54. And that E100 is now suffering. He's being hit with the magazine from that Bat Chat. But that Bat Chat needs to get out of there quick. Otherwise that E100 is going to nail him with an HE shell. But instead Dave's going to do it. Round out. Direct hit. 179 of critical hits tracked him. He's turning his turret, but obviously he's stunned, so he's slow. His reload will be slow. And now he's moving again. And our E100, our GWE100 has just taken out their E100. So they are now down to just one tank destroyer, the Su-130 PM, it's badly damaged. And their two Arty, the Object 261 and the M53, M55. There's the Su-130, and he's losing more hit points all the time. Dave stunned him, And he's picking up some stun assist. The rest of the team, oh, they caught up with him. The Bat Chat got him. So it's now just the two Artys on the enemy team, and we're looking towards the dip, and there's one of them. We're almost loaded. Will we get the kill? We're loaded. Rounds out straight away. Here we go. Yes! So Dave gets that kill. But there's still one enemy, the Object 261. He's over in the corner, and Dave's not going to be loaded in time to get a shot at this one. Oh, and he just shotgunned our LT432. But of course, he's now going to be in reload. And our Bat Chat is closing in on him. We're loaded, so we can get a shot at that Object 261. Dave just needs to re-aim. He's just sitting there doing nothing at the moment. Come on, Dave, wake up. There's the target. Wake up. Oh, Dave. Well, that kill went to the GWE 100. Dave could have taken it, but I think he fell asleep right at the end. Let's have a look at the end of Battle Chat. Stats, Robert. Oh my God, he's got his first ace tanker in the Bat Châtillon 155-55 out of that game. He not only got his first ace, but he also got his first mark of excellence in that game. Wow, so very well done there. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 11, and he picked up a Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. And the win rate for the game was 3,776, which I think he'll be very happy about as well. Let's have a look at team score. Didn't get the highest damage. That went to the Bat Chat 25 ton. Obviously, he was very, very busy. He was going around putting shells into lots of people. In fact, actually, he picked up a Bilot's medal, which is incredibly difficult to get. If I remember correctly, yes, you destroy at least 2 enemy vehicles, having 5 different modules damaged on your vehicle at the time, and losing 80% of your hit points. This is like the most difficult medal to get in any game. And the enemy tanks you destroy, I believe that do they actually have to be destroyed enemy vehicles count after the damage is received. So you can only get this if you destroy enemy vehicles after you are badly damaged. So 5 different modules. That means not just crew members, but tracks and fuel tanks and you name it, everything out of order. But he's still killing enemy tanks in the process. So that is a pretty difficult medal to get, and I've often thought that's the most difficult, even more so than the Sinai Heroes medal, because you are basically a wounded tank going around trying to kill enemy tanks that are more superior than you. But anyway, let's have a look at the rest. 4,575 hit points of damage to the Bat Chat 25 ton, 3,913 to the Striv 1030, and then came Dave with 2,855 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, it was that Bat Chat again. He got 5. The GWE 100 managed to pick up 4. Dave could have picked up 3 if he'd actually been awake to pick up that Object 261, but GWE 100 picked it up instead, and Dave only got 2. And when it came to base XP, because Dave was on a lower tier, and it was a top 10 was tier 10, it was the LT432, the tier 8 light tank, that managed to pick up the highest base XP, 1,135 for him. In fact, he did 6,150 hit points of spotting during that game and got a patrol duty. And then Dave came in with his stun assist, and he managed to get 1,108 XP. And then we got the Bat Chat with 966. If we look at detail report, we can see that Dave fired 18 shots in that game, got 10 direct hits and 2 penetration and 16 splash. Damage of 2,855 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 2 of them. That qualifies him under the 6 rule for the, at least the highest number of tanks that were hit but not killed. And also did 3,448 hit points of stun assist off 16 stuns, and that's where he picked up the extra XP to put him above the Bat Chat. On a premium count, he earned 56,066 credits, got 22,426 for completing the mission and events, and his total came to 78,492. After ammunition resupply and consumables, he took away 53,332 credits. He received 1 bond for getting the Confederate, and 1,662 XP ×2 for the first victory, 665 for completing the mission and events, took away 3,989 experience points altogether. So first mark on his barrel. Obviously he's going to want to get the second mark now, and it's probably more of a challenge to actually get it up to the second mark, but I'm sure he'll get it soon. And very nice of him to get his first ace tanker in this Arty. It's quite a good Arty. I've got one myself. I do enjoy it. I often think that the stock gun is actually better than the top gun. It's got a better reload time, but it is a lot of fun, this Arty. So congratulations on that, Dave. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.